That whole thing of life is messy. If you're going to teach a kid how to eat, you're going to have to deal with a lot of food on their face. I'm just saying, like, it's going to be messy, but in the end, what you're after is life. And I love that. And I just love that theme through this movie. Because I think a lot of guys, I think it would help them to show up if they realize it's just going to be messy sometimes. It's not always going
Right.
to work out. It's not always going to be, sometimes things are going to happen you don't expect and you don't like, but just keep showing up and things will happen.
And not to
Sometimes they
channel,
will.
sometimes they won't. And not to channel, Goodwill Hunting, but when life gets messy, it's not your fault.
Right.
Like, because we, as sort of responsible human beings, we want to take all the blame for everything. Like, when it's messy, it's just messy. And
Some-
it's a lot easier to navigate when we're not trying to force it back into the merry-go-round and
Right.
understanding, yeah, we are on a roller coaster. Life's going to go up, life's going to go down. Sometimes he'll catch it, sometimes he won't. And that's just the way it is. And there's a line that you love that we talked about. And I'm going to bring it up because I think that it's key sort of to converging it. When Gil finds out she's pregnant, he's just quit his job in a very dramatic fashion. And she's like, "Can you get it back?" And like you were talking about, men need respect. She's like, "I'm not going back on my knees to kiss his butt to say, give me my job back." And they get into this whole discussion, this argument. And as he's going out, he's got to go to the last Little League game. And he looks back and she says, "Do you have to?" Because they're in this conversation. They're trying to figure things out.
Right.
And he says, "My whole life is have to." And I think that if we take that line and we apply it to the roller coaster, we think we have to.
Right.
We have to work. We have to do this. We have to do, we have to become Cowboy Dan. We have to get the pinata open.
Oh my God. I love that.
But you know
Oh,
what he didn't have to do? Throw 12 million pop-ups to his son.
right.
He didn't have to do that. We put this pressure of have to on ourselves that is false. Because again, going back to that idea of it's not your fault. Yeah, if your kids are into porn, that's not because you sucked as a dad. If your daughter gets pregnant, it's not because you sucked as a dad. If your son is suicidal, that's not because you sucked as a dad. It's because our kids are born not perfect, but broken. The brokenness is already there.
Yeah.
And we carry too much of a burden when we think we have to. If I don't
Yeah.
do this, my kid's going to grow up and be a serial killer or run off and join the circus or all these horrible things, right? What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? What if we doesn't? And that comes out of that fear of have to.
Yeah.
Because I love that contrast, what you said. Yes, because if your kids play sports or do anything, you experience it. Watching your son pitch is horrible because you live and die by every strike or ball
Oh man.
or
Right.
hit. It's painful. But that idea, like, my whole life is have to, but it doesn't have to be.